This is Yoga for Beginners, video number 2. Let's get started. Let's start out in a comfortable cross-legged position. You can have a blanket or a block under your hips if it makes it more comfortable. And then just lean back a little bit so your heart is over your hips. Let your hands sit comfortably on your knees. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And then begin your ujjayi breath, which is in through your nose and out through your nose via the back of your throat. It's sometimes called ocean breath. I've even heard it called Darth Vader breath, which is kind of awesome because it's like using the force. You want to hear the sound in your own ears because that's another way to bring your mind's focus onto the breath. And this is the most important part of your practice today. The asanas, the shapes or the poses we make, is only one of the 8 limbs, they say in Ashtanga. It's something that has taken prevalence in relatively recent times in the Western world because of all the benefits it gives us, all the physical benefits. More ease and flexibility in our bodies, curing aches and pains. It's a great way to stay in shape. But the deeper benefits that yoga offers us with spaciousness of the mind and better sleep, greater peace, they come partly from this focus on the breath. So I just invite you, as your mind wanders throughout the practice, to just notice it with no judgment, because that's the mind's job, is to just bring your mind back out of the thought and into the breath, into your body, and fully inhabit your body during this practice. So we're coming out of the mind and moving into the body. Let your head gently fall to one side. Maybe turn your face up to the ceiling a little bit. And if you clench your jaw, you'll really feel that in the front of your jaw, in the front of your neck. Sweep your head forward and to the other side, noticing where you feel it. Turn your face up to the ceiling. Bring your head back to center. Bring your right hand to the mat and your left hand to the sky above you, and stretch up and over, getting a stretch in this side body, and send your breath there. Feel it filling all that space you've created. Turn your head and heart up to the ceiling a little bit and notice where that shifts the stretch. And I remind you to notice how it feels in your body, because using that curiosity is a great doorway into being present in your body. Turn your head and heart to the ground a little bit and notice how that switches it to the back. Come back to center and switch hands, lifting the other hand up high and then over. Because the goal is to be feeling and breathing, not thinking. Turn your head and heart to the ceiling or the sky if you're lucky enough to be outside. Then turn your head and heart to the ground a little bit. Come back to center. And we're going to come into table position. So your hands are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. So maintain your ujjayi breath throughout the practice. Inhale, lift your head and heart and drop your stomach. Exhale, drop your head and lift your shoulder blades and stomach up. Inhale, drop your stomach, lift your head and heart. Exhale, drop your head and lift your stomach. Inhale, drop your stomach, lift your head and heart. Exhale, drop your head and lift, creating space between your shoulders. Inhale, lift your head and heart. Play with widening your collarbone here. Exhale, drop your head. And you just move through. This is cat and cow, very common sequence in yoga. Moving on your own breath here. Come to a neutral spine. Bring your knees back a couple of inches. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up into downward facing dog. Remembering you're trying to make the shape of an upside down V. There's a straight pushing from your hands all the way up to your hips, but your knees can be bent here. Your ankles do not have to touch the ground. Try to keep your head in between your arms, not lifted up or forward, but in line with your arms. On your next exhale, look forward and walk your feet toward your hands. Release your hands and your head into a forward fold. Your legs can be bent as much as is comfortable here. You're going to slowly put your palms facing down on your feet and slowly pull the hands up your legs until you make the shape of an L with your body. So you've lifted up halfway with a flat back. Your shoulders are pulled down your back and engaged, and your elbows are pulled into your sides. Your knees can be soft here. Exhale, fold. Sweeping your hands out to the side with a flat back, slowly rise up to standing, hands above your head. Exhale your hands back down as you fold forward back to a forward fold. Inhale, pulling those hands up your legs again until you make the L shape halfway. Flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping your hands out to the side, rise again all the way up to Tadasana, hands above your head. Exhale them back down into a forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat and step or walk back to plank. It doesn't matter how you get there. Meet me in plank, and then we're going to chaturanga, which is lowering slowly. You can be on your knees here. I'll do it on the knees the first time. So you be on your knees, but you want your body to be straight. Lower slowly, elbows behind you. Tops of your feet are on the mat. Roll your shoulders back and down. Lift your head and heart for Cobra. Pushing yourself back, tucking your toes to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time. On your next exhale, look forward and walk or hop your feet toward your hands. Release into a forward fold. On your next inhale, bring your hands up until you make the L shape with your body. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bringing your hands out to the side, rise with a flat back all the way to standing, hands above your head, maybe a little arch. Exhale, swoop them back down to a forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat, step or walk back to plank. Chaturanga, lower slowly. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Great. Now, we're going to lift the right leg high behind you. Exhale it forward between your hands. Drop your back foot flat on the mat and rise into Warrior One. If you can't touch your back ankle on the mat, then you can step your foot out a little wider or forward a little bit to create more room for your hips. Make sure your front knee is over your front ankle. Bring that left hand and turn it down so it touches your back thigh. Bring your top hand above your face and turn your palm to face behind you. Lift your head and heart just slightly toward the ceiling. Reverse warrior. We're going to move into something that's called extended side angle from here. So take your back foot and turn your ankle in so your foot is parallel with the short edge of your mat. Bring that top hand down and bring your elbow to your knee in front of you. Sweep that back hand up past the top of your head. So your front elbow is leaning on your knee and your knee is over your ankle. Your back leg is straight. Your top arm is up past the top of your head. Try not to lean on your elbow. The engagement is coming from your core. So you're not hanging out. You're lifting up and keeping that engaged. Beautiful. Come back up to warrior two. Windmill your hands down. Step back to plank. Chaturanga. Up. Or cobra rather. And downward facing dog. So you lift your left leg higher this time. Exhale it forward between your hands. Drop your back foot so it's flat on the mat. Rise into warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Remember, you got to check that your knee is over your ankle. Take your right hand and sweep it down behind you so it touches the back of your back leg. Turn your lifted palm to face the back. Tilt your head and heart to the sky slightly. If this tweaks your back, then engage your stomach a little more and lift up. If it's tweaking your back knee, then pull down and grip the mat with your toes a little more. Or step it in shorter. If it's too tight on your inner thigh, you can make a shorter stance. Now we're going to move into extended side angle. So remember, we twist that back ankle in so your foot is in line with the short edge of the mat. Bring that lifted left elbow down to your front knee. Sweep the right hand up past the top of your head. Come back to your breath. You're in extended side angle. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, windmill your hands down. Tuck your back toes and step back to plank. Chaturanga. Cobra. Heart is forward of your shoulders here. And then downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank here. And now push yourself back, lifting your hips back to downward facing dog. Again, roll forward so your shoulders are over your wrists. And then take your hips back to downward facing dog. Look forward, and on your exhale, maybe you want to try hopping this time. So if you're looking forward, you bend your knees and you lift up and step forward. Release your head into a forward fold. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Take a wide-legged position on your mat. Engage your feet toward each other, activating your inner thighs. Keeping that engagement With a flat back, slowly roll forward, and hopefully you won't hear any hip popping because the engagement is there. And let your head fall wherever is comfortable. Your legs can be as bent as they need to be here so you can relax your head. If you're able to grab your feet or your ankles, then the invitation is to do that and just pull yourself in a little bit. Come back to your breath. Can you soften into this pose a little bit? Can you relax any of the parts of your body that can relax in this position? Walk your hands out in front of you as far as you can, and then let your head fall in between your arms. Walk your hands back. Bend your knees if they weren't already. Bring your hands to your hips and rise with a flat back. Beautiful. Turn your ankles in and walk your feet in so you're in a wide-legged position, and then slowly drop down into Malasana, which we went over last time. It's basically a squat. Your hands are in prayer and your elbows are on the inside of your knees, just inviting the knees to come out a little bit further. Whatever version of this you're in, if you're sitting on blocks or your feet are not flat, try to find some acceptance of the version that you're in. And then slowly come back down to the mat. So we're now in the cool down period. So lie on your back. Let your left leg go straight on the mat and bring your right knee across your body for a supine twist. I have like a ponytail in the worst position in my head today, so I can't put my head back flat on the mat. Come back to center, switch legs. Your hands can be out in a T shape or whatever works for you. However this twist feels good in your body, the invitation is just to find that version. And getting familiar with that level of you're feeling a deep stretch, but it's not pulling or sharp in any way. Come back to center. Coming into happy baby is the final pose. You're going to push your feet up like you're trying to push a table up. Grab the outside edges of your feet and pull your knees so they're on the outside of your torso. So they're not on your torso, they're on the outside of your torso. And then you just rock around in whatever way feels good. And this is me. I'm not a purist at all. So move around however feels right. And then the best part of yoga is coming into Savasana. So your hands are out away from your body. Your legs are straight and relaxed. If you're able to close the door, I know that's not possible, especially if you have young kids around, but if you're able to find a space that feels safe, that no one's going to jump in, that's definitely preferred. Because we're just going to be here for a couple of minutes, but if you can give yourself this gift of being really relaxed in these couple of minutes, it will be of such benefit to you for the rest of the day. So that's the invitation, is Make it feel safe for you. Just let go. Give yourself the gift of being fully present for this 2 minutes. Relax your jaw. Let the space between your eyebrows soften and get a little bit wider. Relax your stomach. Let go. You are enough. Just as you are. Slowly keeping your eyes closed, roll onto your right side in the fetal position. We move from the corpse pose to the fetal position because it symbolizes beginning anew, starting over. Keep your eyes closed. If it feels right, you can move up to a comfortable seat or stay lying down, whatever works. I'm going to bring my hands into prayer mudra in front of my heart. Thank you so much for joining me today. And we finish with one word. It means the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.